Hey everybody, it is me, Sacred G, whatever you want to call me. Today we are going to be talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984. And starring, Heather Langenkamp as Nancy, and we could really forget about the rest once I get on to the review. And there's going to be spoilers in this too, so if you have not had the chance to see this movie, I do recommend it. But I recommend it if you're a fan of slashers. Okay, and before I do start, I am going to say this is all my opinion. If you disagree with me, you're free to disagree with me. I don't really care. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, this film's about a dream demon by the name of Freddy Krueger who stalks and kills, or tries to kill 4 teenagers that has something to do with his past. Now, I'll try not to spoil the story, but it was pretty much he was a child abuser and he abused, or a child killer. I don't think he got the chance to kill the other kids, so he's back for revenge and he kills you in your dreams. And I really enjoyed the movie for the most part. I don't think it's bad. Honestly, it's worth a rewatch. But there's a few things that scenes that I just want to talk about, and I looked at the reviews earlier, actually, before I started recording, and Rotten Tomatoes has given this film a 95%. Yet again, Rotten Tomatoes back at it with the highest fucking reviews, praising this film as almost perfect, which, honestly, let's be honest, people, this film is not perfect. This film is just, in a sense, a traditional slasher. Some, deity coming back from the dead, much like Jason almost, tracking and killing teenagers. But in this case, I liked how, Freddy is different than Jason. I am not saying these two are remotely the same. I am saying that it's a kind of a revenge sort of killer. Jason pretty much was a revenge sort of killer. I don't know if Michael Myers was, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you think Michael Myers is a revenge killer, because I don't think so, honestly. Freddy's different in that regard. He's actually a dream demon, and he can kill you in your dreams, and that's actually a really awesome, beautiful part of horror that I just like, is how unique Freddy still is, because I don't think there's been a killer in a while, at least that I think of, that has topped Freddy. Well, besides, Chucky making his way into the slasher, the iconic slasher characters. However, though, this film is, again, not perfect. I really liked the performance of Heather Langenkamp. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but I really did. I actually thought the first time I watched it, which was a long time ago, I thought it was really bad. But no, I like her performance because she's the one that seemed to kind of carry the movie. I know Johnny Depp's in this film, I understand, but this film is just, oh my god. So there's a scene where, and I just want to get this scene over with, where, Nancy goes to this, who's our heroine of the film, played, of course, by Heather Langenkamp, who's going to this dream specialist or whatever so they could monitor her dreams, and it doesn't show the nightmare, but it actually shows just her laying there to sleep, and she's struggling. You can tell she's having a nightmare, and she gets cut and all this stuff, and the parents don't believe it. Okay, and she pulls out fucking Freddy Krueger's hat. She pulls it off his head, and the parents, she didn't even come there with his hat, and she just fucking apparently was not believed, and the parents and the adults were like, well, how'd you get that? And not only that, she got cut on her arm, and the parents didn't believe that. Oh my god. That was one of the other scenes, and of course, okay, so the opening I did find a bit confusing because the dream sequences were not good. Let's be honest there. Like, I personally, for me, didn't think the dream sequences were that good because later on when there were dreams happening during the day, you couldn't even tell that if it was a dream or this is reality. It's like, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two, of course, until you get to the boiler room area and stuff like that. But the issue that I have, or, well, that's the issue that I have, is it's kind of hard to tell the difference. And, you know, the opening was okay. You know, it starts out with Tina having her nightmare, and then, you know, it introduces us to Nancy and, you know, Johnny Depp's character, in which, by the way, these characters are forgettable. Their acting is just subpar. I would actually give a pass for Tina. I didn't have a problem with her acting. It was her boyfriend's acting, and fucking Johnny Depp wasn't that great in this movie either, actually, to be honest. He's gotten better over time. I don't think he's, you know, terrible, but he wasn't that good in this movie, in my opinion. Like, of course, it was his first movie. And Nancy was better than I remembered seeing it the first time, actually. Yeah, so these characters are forgettable, and they try to get you to like them, but honestly, it's kind of ruined by acting. Like, in my opinion, I would have liked these characters if their performances were 10 times better, in my opinion. Like, Jesus, man. Like, can you at least act? And so she has a dream, or, you know, her and Nancy share their dream stories and all this stuff, and her boyfriend sneaks over, and you can hear them having really loud sex, and probably it was faked, who knows, by Tina. Probably wasn't as good as they make it sound in the movie. And her death was just... One of the things I have heard is that Tina's death and a few of the practical effects were pretty good. Tina's death was just the dumbest, in my opinion. Just one of the worst deaths in the whole movie. It was so dumb. She got cut pretty bad in her fucking chest area. Bleeds out all over the ceiling, screaming, ah! And then her boyfriend, Tina! Tina! You know? Probably the worst delivered line ever. And she lands on her bed. That's when she dies. She got cut in her chest area, bro, and it was fucking deep too. Like, it even showed like the claw marks or the knife marks from his knife fingers, you know, just claw in there. It was pretty fucking deep, and she bled out, and then she dies magically when she lands on the bed. Like, really? And that the practical effect for that was fine, actually. That I liked, but the death, it was just, it was stupid. You can tell, honestly, it was something. It was just something pulling her up on the ceiling, but just like the way she bled out, you know, which is just so funny to me. And then, you know, the police are called. The police accuse the boyfriend because he snuck over, and he's on the large. And so Nancy, it's up to Nancy. You later find out that Nancy's going to be the heroine of this movie. And I really like Nancy's character, man. She was awesome. I think she's one of the best horror heroines in not in a while, but, you know, in horror history, in my opinion. I ended up actually now talking about her now actually gives me more respect for that character because she fucking carried the movie. Like, again, as I said, I thought her acting was bad. I thought it was quite, you know, terrible. But it wasn't. It actually was surprisingly better than I thought. It was actually tolerable and made me respect the character even more. However, the supporting other characters were just fucking forgettable. Even the parents. Like, I had no... Like, were Nancy's parents divorced, or were they together, or was there a line I missed where it mentions that you know, the husband works a lot? I just don't understand that. Like, I know Nancy's father was a cop, which probably one of the dumbest cops. As I said, like, the dream testing scene where she pulls the hat when she didn't even fucking come into the place with the hat anyways, and it has Freddy's fucking name stitched in it. You know, so anywho, Nancy goes to school, and she sneaks off, and, you know, the boyfriend of Tina's trying to get her, you know, trying to say, hey, I didn't kill her. Which, obviously, you didn't. I mean, they could hear you screaming her name, so, she was going, like, something was happening that you weren't causing. Anywho, he ends up getting caught by the police. Her dad arrests his ass and throws his ass in jail, so pretty much no freedom for him. And Nancy goes to school, and that's where we get introduced to probably another, like, the second best, or not best, but the other okay practical effect, actually one I think that actually holds up, was the body bag. I actually really liked that scene. It held up pretty well. I didn't notice anything, or nothing made me feel like something was pulling her, which, you know, it's a movie, so something was, but it wasn't, like, obvious about it like a few other scenes I mentioned. Oh, and also, before Tina died, one of the most iconic scenes that is just funny, the elastic wall. This movie's really dated. Or the latex wall where Freddy's, like, peering through over Nancy when she's sleeping, and then when she wakes up, it goes back. It was so obvious what that was. That was a really bad practical effect. IMO. And so she's having dreams. She didn't sleep well, so she fell asleep in class, and she's having dreams of, Tina and she's in a body bag, and again, another okay practical, or actually pretty good practical effect. And she follows it, and she bumps into the fucking janitor, who ends up being Freddy, because, you know, the janitor, or the hallway person, hall monitor, whatever, is wearing Freddy's sweater, so it was pretty predictable that was Freddy. And so, yeah, she freaks out in class, and then her parents, or her mom, takes her to this dream testing place, and that's when that stupid-ass fucking scene ensues. It is literally actually one of the fucking most worst scenes in horror movies that I've seen. First of all, I know there's probably worse, but first of all, she didn't come into the facility with Freddy's hat, and apparently they don't believe her, and it has Fred Krueger's name in the fucking hat. They're like, where did she get it? Well, I don't know. Why didn't you check and see if your daughter brought a hat with her? Or did you not see that she didn't have one? Like, what? Like, that was a dumb scene. I'm not gonna lie. And then I actually rewatched the scene. I first thought they actually confirmed that, the mom was onto something. But no, it ended up becoming stupid and shot down that, no, we don't know where you got the hat from, even though you didn't have it with you beforehand. Like, what the fuck? And then the dad went all out to try to get the fucking hat fingerprint dusted. Or dusted for prints. Oh my god. Horror movies, man. The fucking 80s is just filled with really campy, cheesy fucking movies, man. I swear, but it's actually good, entertaining shit. Don't get me wrong, like, it's entertaining, but I wouldn't consider this film good. I'm sorry, it's okay. For me, it's okay. Like, if you think this is a good movie, that's fine. I really don't care. I personally just think this movie's okay. I don't think it's, a staple in saying anything about horror. It's literally some dude stalking teenagers. Like, come on. Except for this time, at least it's different, and it's in your dreams, and there wasn't really many sex scenes, which I give the movie big props for. Anywho... After that, and also the mom was an alcoholic, and her acting was bad. I'm not gonna lie, man. I could not buy the mom for a fucking minute. I literally every time, like, she was pretty hot, actually. She was a MILF, for sure, but I honestly was taken out by her acting. Like, it wasn't that good. It was just kind of off-putting, and it just didn't make me feel like she literally was an alcoholic. I mean, she downs like a fucking bottle of fucking vodka like it's nothing. I'm sorry, but even if you're really used to drinking alcohol, it still burns. So you still gotta take your time with it. You know, I just didn't buy her character at all. The dad was alright. The guy, whoever played the dad, I'll credit them all in the description, but it just was just an okay movie. It wasn't, you know, revolutionary. It was, again, just manhunt, thing hunt, teenager, kills. That's it. Except for Done in Your Dreams. And yes, for the time that was new. Like, it was probably pretty moving back in the 80s, but I don't care. To me, it was just okay. Like, you know, it wasn't, like, revolutionary. And, you know, we get the ending scene. I'm just going to skip to the end. You know, you get the ending scene, you know, and another thing I really liked about Nancy's character is the fact that she was determined to get Freddy. Like, she wanted to get him, and she even went as far as setting up traps. And before this, Johnny Depp's parents are just like the dumbest. He was asleep. They come in, right? They wake his ass up. Like, his mom wakes him up to tell him something, and then fucking guess what happens? She tells him, you shouldn't be staying up too late. Like, what the fuck? Your son was asleep. You woke him up. What are you talking about? You know, and it's just these horror movies, man. It's like, holy shit. Sometimes, like, anywho, yeah, he was asleep, and he gets sucked into the bed, and then he fucking dies, and a whole bunch of blood squirts from the fucking bed. And not only that, like, I don't understand how the parents couldn't piece together the groups of the kids that were dying. Like, if all these kids were affected by Freddy, wouldn't they suspect with the hat being pointed out, and then the mom showing Nancy the glove and telling her about Fred Krueger, which I think, actually, now to think of it, I think the mom had contemplations believing Nancy, but it was still stupid because the dad wanted to get the hat printed. Like, why would your daughter have that? What? Anywho, you know, I like Nancy's character. She was probably, again, the best in the fucking movie, and she actually saved it because she made it more tolerable. Like, I like Robert Englund. I haven't seen the other ones. I'm going to watch them all, actually. I'm probably going to talk about all of them. Actually, I am. Like, she carried the movie. Anywho, she sets up traps and stuff for the house, and so she could get Freddy and pull him into the world, and then so that way that, you know, she could kill him or something. I don't know what her motive was. I think it was just to stop Freddy. And she gets him out, and she does set up traps, and they work, but he ends up taking the mom. And I'm going to be honest, the ending was a lot more confusing than I remembered, actually. I thought it was very simplistic. It was undetermined if Nancy... And this is why I say the dream sequences in this film are just... Honestly, I'm just going to be blunt. I'm piss poor. Because I couldn't tell if this was a dream. I couldn't tell. And I know that was pretty much the intent, to make you think that, oh, you know, they got out of it. But did they? Like, because the second one I saw, Heather's not in this film. She is not in Nightmare 2. Just Robert Englund from the first film. Which I don't have a problem with Robert Englund either. He was good. He was actually quite creepy. To be honest, he was pretty creepy. There was a few scenes where I was like, oh, you know, this guy's pretty creepy. You're pretty fucking good, man. But anyways, the ending just made me think, okay, did she dream? Like, what's going on here? Did this actually happen? Did she get Freddy? Because the mom just magically appears. And it's like, what the fuck? And by the way, one more thing to make fun of. There's this scene where pretty much Freddy gets set on fire. She throws like vodka at Freddy, and she lights a match or throws something at him. that's alcoholic or flammable, and she throws it on him, and she throws a match, and he catches on fire, and he was wearing one of the most obvious safety-proof masks that I thought we were watching an Alien movie. Like, they tried to make the mask look like Freddy. I get that. But it was not really done that well, and he looked like a fucking alien. You know. And the funny thing is, too, is the mom just reappearing magically, and then you not knowing if she stopped Freddy. Like, that actually kind of irritates me a bit. Because it's like, okay, then what? Okay. Like, what? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand the ending. Did she get Freddy? Because apparently the second film has nothing to do with her, at least that I see. Hold on a second. Let me make sure of that really quick. No, she ain't. I don't see her in this. She's not. Nope, that's weird. Okay, then what the hell was the ending for that film? It's just so funny. Like, I just don't understand that, man. That's just so fucking confusing. And for this to get a 95%, this is why I do not trust Rotten Tomatoes. People should just watch the film and then go by how you felt about it. If you didn't like the movie and you actually hated it, then it's a bad movie. It's a 0% for you. And or if you loved it, and if you really enjoyed it, and you would watch it again, you would even buy it, you know, you thought it was a fun experience, then yes, that's like whatever percentage you'd give it. It's all pretty much what you think. And again, yes, there are ways to objectively look at things, but sometimes I just think people have weird taste sometimes, so I personally don't like shitty movies, but anywho, or at least movies that I deem as shitty. Yeah, so just a very confusing ending, and honestly, the practical effects were okay. Overall, the movie's okay. It's not good. The story really isn't that good, because I couldn't tell if, like, this is why you can't imply that he's one thing and then or he's one thing, and this is why you can't have it implied that it's another thing too, like the whole pedophile bullshit thing. You know, I just, was he a child murderer or a pedophile? Because there were hints towards it in the movie, not the phone scene that people cling to. He was just taunting Nancy, by the way. Well, I'm your boyfriend now. He was taunting Nancy because he killed her boyfriend. It's not a hint to him being a pedophile, but there was one scene where he gave her the tongue thing, which was fucking weird as hell, which I think was a heavy indication, and it just made me, I just don't like that. It just feels like a split personality going on. And, you know, it was beautifully shot. It actually looks really well, actually, for a film. I bought it in HD on my little, you know, digital movie shelf. And it looked really fucking good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It looked pretty damn good. But anywho, that's my opinion. I actually recommend this. If you like slasher films, and you're into watching the older ones, then this is one I would recommend if you haven't seen it. Or, you know, just to rewatch it, I guess. But yeah, I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun watch. I would watch it again, but not a year, but I would say after a few months, maybe, down the line. Who knows? So I can rank them all. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Recommend it. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie too. And I want to see what you guys thought. But anywho, also, I just want to say I just found it also a little bit overrated as well. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace the fuck out. And just let me know in the comments, please, what you thought of the film. If you liked it, if you actually hated it. Just let me know. I'll read them all, and we'll probably have a discussion. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace the fuck out, and thanks for 39 subs. It is highly fucking appreciated. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.